You're watching NTC News, DeKalb County's only television news source, on the campus of Northern Illinois University and from the Northern Television Center. This is NTC News Tonight.
NIU has 8 million reasons to brag about its new residence hall. $8 million is what it costs, and it's state-of-the-art. Good evening, I'm Fiorella Cole, and thanks for joining us.
And I'm Mike Lewis. Even though the new dorm is impressive, some students are having a hard time trying to cover the bill. NTC reporter Torian Small has more on why the new residence hall might not be the right hall for you.
If the single rooms didn't win these students over, it was the high-tech door locking system in each cluster. 44 years after the last residence hall was built, NIU finished the first step in creating a more modern campus for students. This time around, the university lets students decide what they want in a new residence hall.
And when you look at the amenities that are here, when you look at all, the advantages of with the food court and with the recreation center, and what not only indoors but outdoors, I think that it's very, very appealing.
Amenities such as a kitchenette area, matching washer and dryer, and a flat screen TV in the living room make up the commons area for this floor in New Residence Hall East. But NIU students living in the still unnamed residence hall might have a hard time paying for room and board this year. At $6,500 a semester, financial aid for students like Kristen is the only way to cut costs.
I didn't get too many this year, but I want to get more as the years goes on because I think it'll make it a lot easier. And then other than that, I knew I had to get loans because we didn't really have any money saved up anyway.
Kristen is looking to return next fall as a community advisor to avoid adding more loans in her name. But at half the cost to live in her hall this year, Kristen could afford a 2-bedroom apartment in this complex just 5 minutes away from campus. For even less, she can afford a 1-bedroom apartment in this complex just 10 minutes away. Of course, the new residence hall has many more resources than the private apartments off campus. These resources, students say, is well worth the money.
Even regardless of all the amenities they give you, even regardless of the space. They give you so much in just the community center and the building itself.
While the new residence hall seems like every student's dream dorm, the hefty bill for these students is a reality. The university has no doubt that the dorm will stay filled even if it's a bit pricey.
I think we'll have to wait and see if that becomes a greater challenge down the line. At least for right now, there's a waiting list.
Torian Small, NTC Tonight.
Thanks, Torian. About 1,000 students live in the new residence hall.
And it's nice. The building has its own residents-only recreation facility.
Sheriff's deputies are trying to find out who did some serious damage to the old Cortland Elementary School. It happened last month. Somebody broke into the old school and spray painted the walls and broke windows. The damage didn't stop there. Many of the school's interior walls had holes punched into them. If you have any information about this incident, you are urged to call Crime Stoppers at 815-895-3272.
NIU's Late Night Ride program is getting a shakeup. Late Night Ride is a free service offered to students. It is offered to give students safe transportation home in the middle of the night. But people have been misusing this service by taking it to places like Walmart and Target. Late Night Ride used to go all over DeKalb, but now it's limited in where it can take its passengers. With these new rules, they hope to cut wait time for rides from 20 minutes down to 6 minutes.
You're going to reduce the waiting times because you're limiting the scope of service. You're going to provide a more efficient service because you're setting ground rules as far as where you can go.
These changes went into effect at the beginning of the semester. If you would like to use the Late Night Ride service, you can contact them at 815-753-2222.
Late Night Ride services brings up an ever-present issue here at NIU, campus safety.
Yes, it does. So we asked some students whether or not they feel that campus is safe. Here's what you told us.
I feel safe on campus. It's mostly off campus that I've heard most of this bad stuff that's been happening.
Sometimes during night classes, one wonders, what could happen, who can jump out of the bushes.
I feel safe. I haven't heard about any of the incidents that happened, so nothing's happened to me. A couple nights ago it was dark and I was alone, and a policeman told me I would be fine to just walk by myself, and I did not feel safe doing that. So make sure you walk in groups.
And speaking of campus safety, it's National Fire Prevention Week. With the temperatures dropping and heat getting turned up, you need to watch out for house fires. Fire officials are warning residents to check their smoke detectors. They need to be placed near your bedroom in case there is a fire at night. If you don't know how to get your house ready for winter, make sure you contact the fire department.
The family of an Elk Grove Village man is glad to see him in jail.
And it's another day off for students in Evergreen Park, and it's not for Columbus Day. These are today's World Watch.
Relatives of an Elk Grove Village man who allegedly wanted to destroy several Oklahoma churches say they're relieved he was arrested. 23-year-old Gregory Arthur Wheeler was arrested last week. Police found bomb-making materials in his motel room. Wheeler's aunt says both the man's parents committed suicide and suffered from drug use.
Negotiations are set to continue today as a teacher strike in the Chicago suburb of Evergreen Park continues. About 150 teachers and 60 supported staff members walked off job last week. Both sides spent more than 5 hours negotiating yesterday.
Residents in the struggling northwest Illinois town of Thompson are hoping the economy gets a boost from the sale of a local prison. The U.S. Bureau of Prisons will convert the Thompson Correctional Center into a maximum security prison, estimated to generate about $200 million annually.
Chicago will use money left over from the NATO summit to improve city parks and boathouses and take on other recreational projects. Officials say they've invested $7 million after costs associated with this spring summit came in under budget. And those are today's state lines.
It was a bit chilly here this past weekend, wasn't it,
It definitely was. I had to dust out the old peacoat. Eddie Wildermuth is here. And Eddie, will I have to be bringing that coat back out?
I wouldn't put it away yet. But it looks like we're going to see warmer temps as the week goes on. Tomorrow's looking like to be a great day. So let's take a look at those temperatures for tomorrow. We're going to have highs in the mid-60s for everyone. 66 for DeKalb, 65 in for Chicago, and 68 in Peoria. But all these temps going to be here to stay with us? Stick around and I'll tell you when we come back. This is NTC News Tonight.
Severe weather can destroy a home in seconds. There's no time to think, only time to act. Have a kit so you're ready for any emergency. Develop a plan for what you and your family will do before disaster strikes, and stay informed during severe weather any way you can. It can be the difference between losing your possessions and losing your life. Just ask the owners of this house. Visit ready.gov for ways to prepare your family for emergencies.
Welcome back. Well, it was a chilly day to start off the day today as we saw temps dip below freezing. We got down to 28 degrees overnight as our low, but it did warm up quite nice at 59 degrees for our high today. It is 6 degrees below average, but I don't think anyone's going to complain. Taking a look at our radar, you can see there's not a whole lot of anything in our area, and it's going to stay that way tonight as we move into tomorrow, as temperatures are going to warm up thanks to warm air moving up from the south. Tomorrow night, though, we have this cold front coming off from our northwest. Going to cool us down a bit and give us a chance of rain. Looking at tonight, expect partly cloudy skies, low of 44 degrees. The wind's going to kick up from the south, though, but it's going to bring warm temps with us. High of 66, partly sunny skies. But as we get into tomorrow night, temperatures are going to dip down to 36 degrees. Chance of showers mostly after 7 p.m. Looking at the week ahead, showers will move out by Tuesday, but Wednesday going to be sunny, but going to be cooler, much like this weekend, 52 degrees for your high. As we go on through the week, expect warming temperatures as we go on, 64 for Thursday, 56 for Friday, and 65 for Saturday. Though you might expect some storms as there's a potent weather system forming off to the southwest to move through Illinois sometime on a day Saturday. That'll do it for weather. Let's send it back to Mike and Fiorella at the desk.
Thanks, Ed. The Supreme Court is about to hear a big case involving race and college admissions.
And a controversial South American leader is reelected. Here's what's happening in today's World Watch.
this week that's getting big attention on college campuses: whether universities can consider race as a part of the admissions process. The case involves a woman who believes she was rejected primarily because she is white. The case challenges race-conscious admissions policies at flagship state universities, saying they violate the rights of white applicants.
Venezuela's President Hugo Chavez has faced down the strongest challenge so far to his leadership. Chavez won a new 6-year presidential term in an election that drew a very high voter turnout. Results show Venezuela's long-term socialist leader winning with 54% of Sunday's vote.
2 scientists have been awarded the Nobel Prize for Medicine for their work in cell research. Shinya Yamanaka of Japan and British researcher John Gurdon's work shows that mature, specialized cells of the body can be reprogrammed into stem cells. It's a discovery that scientists hope to turn into new treatments for diseases like Parkinson's and diabetes.
3 people are in jail after a wedding reception brawl in Philadelphia. At least 2 wedding parties got into a fight inside a Sheraton hotel early Sunday morning. During the chaos, a 57-year-old man had a heart attack and died. It's not clear how the fight started. One of the 3 men who were arrested has been charged with assaulting a police officer. And that's today's World Watch. And the race for the AL and NL pennant has begun.
It's time for NTC Sports, and Eli Gaines shows us how to talk about sports. What's up, Eli?
Well, a lot of, if you guys ended up catching the weekend, a lot of baseball going on. It all started on Thursday. Remember, we had that different playoff format with the MLB playoffs this season, so you had an extra wild card team. So on Thursday, the Orioles knocked off the one of the favorites, the Rangers, and the Atlanta Braves were eliminated by the World Series defending champions, the St. Louis Cardinals. And speaking of the St. Louis Cardinals, the NL East champion Nationals went to St. Louis for Game 1. Top 8 pinch hitter Tyler Moore comes up in the clutch, hits the Ric Flair to right field to bring in 2 runs. 3-2 Nationals. Bottom 9, Tyler Clippard is going to get Matt Holliday swinging, and that will do it. The Nationals win it 3-2. Game 2 between the A's and Tigers. Miguel Cabrera hits a shallow ball to center, and Coco Crisp. You had one job, Coco Crisp, catch the ball. He drops it, and it brings in 2 runs for Detroit, and it gives them the lead. Bottom of the 9th now. It's another pinch hitter. He's the hero. Don Kelly gets the sac fly to right center, gives the Tigers a 2-game series lead. Yankees versus Orioles. Game was tied in the 9th before New York put their foot on the gas pedal. Russell Martin starts the fun with a solo home run to left to put the Yankees up 3-2, and then later 2 men on for Robinson Cano. I'm going to call him Robinson Yes. He rips this one to the left field foul line. Both the runners from first and second come in to score. Yankees put up 5 in the 9th to take Game 1 in Baltimore. And the Reds, they're looking to take a 2-game series lead over San Fran, and that's exactly what they did. Cincy shut out the Giants 9-0, only giving up 2 hits, and Bronson Arroyo, he must be a funny guy. I want to let you know why, because he's in the dugout right here, and Dusty Baker's just cracking up. Reds closing in on the NLCS. And the Chicago Bears took the field yesterday afternoon against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, if you remember last week, the Bears dominated the Cowboys in a 34-18 victory on Monday night. Well, yesterday, it wasn't very different. Now, in the first half, the game was tied 3-3, but I guess Lovie Smith, he gives halftime speeches like a sir. Here's some deja vu from last Monday night. Charles Peanut Tillman picks off the Blaine Gabbert pass and houses it, giving Chicago a 10-point cushion. The Bears, they gave me 35 points in fantasy football this week. I love it. Fourth quarter is where the real beatdown began. Jake Cutler, call him Kid Cuddy, hooks up with Alshon Jeffrey on the 10-yard slant. 20-3 Chicago, and then later Cutler isn't done. Sees Brandon Marshall with the one-on-one coverage on the outside. Hooks up with a touchdown here. Marshall finished with 144 yards. Bears win it big, 41-3. And from the pros to the sports here on campus, a lot of action going on this weekend for the Huskies. First, we're going to start with the NIU football team. They visited Balso Hard State on Saturday, more like Balso Soft State. Huskies beat the Cardinals 35-23. Jordan Lynch, I'm telling you guys, had over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. He has got to be the early favorite to win this year's MAC Player of the Year, just like Hal Harnish. Last year, Ball State quarterback Keith Wenning completed 42 passes on 71 attempts. I believe that's a Ball State record. Huskies, they've won 5 in a row now and are tied for first place with Toledo in the MAC West. And the women's soccer team, they also played this weekend. They had 2 games at home. If you count Thursday as a weekend day, that's when they played their first game against Bowling Green. They came to DeKalb. The Huskies picked up the W 2-1 with a goal here from Lauren Noonan in the winding minutes to give NIU that win. And then yesterday, NIU fell to Central Michigan in double overtime 2-1. It seems like they're always losing their games in double overtime. The Huskies' only goal came on a penalty kick from Allie McBride in the 25th minute. And also the men's team took the pitch. That was on Saturday afternoon. NIU picks up its second straight conference win over Hartwick. Forward Gail Rivera got his 4th goal of the season. That's a team lead in the 67th minute to improve the Huskies' conference record to 2-0. And back to those pro guys. If you guys know who Drew Brees is, you know, he continues to be one of the NFL's elite quarterbacks. Now, last year, Brees threw for an NFL record for passing yards in a single season. And last night, he added another record to his resume. Here's what we're talking about. Saints taking on the Chargers, and we're going to let Al Michaels take the call.
Zone blitz, Brees steps up, finds time wide open, and there it is. Drew Brees to Devery Henderson.
And as Michael said it, there it is. It's the 48th straight game where Drew Brees had at least one passing touchdown. Sean Payton was in attendance. His wife was in attendance. It was a good time for them. The record was held by former Colts great Johnny Unitas. The Saints also got their first win of the season with a 31-24 victory. So a great night for Nolens fans. And I got to tell you guys, Brees never ceases to amaze me from what he did last year. Class act of the NFL, and if anyone is going to be breaking passing records, I'm glad that I'm able to be around to see him do it.
Awesome. So, thanks, Eli, for telling us what's going on in sports.
When we come back, maybe it's true what they say about space invaders in New Mexico, and we have the video to prove it. Stay with us.
I'm in the honors program here at NIU. The Honors House is a place where honors students can live together. I lived in the Honors House as a freshman, so I got to meet people right off the bat. I was with students who were in the same kinds of classes as me. So living in the Honors House just meant I had that group to start off with. Living with other honors students made all the difference in my experience, so why go anywhere else?
Northern Illinois University, learning today,
leading tomorrow.
If you think the fall colors on the trees are stunning this year, the October sky is nothing short of spectacular, at least if you're in New Mexico. 500 hot air balloons took the sky above Albuquerque this weekend in a flawless mass launch at the annual Hot Air Balloon Festival. High winds delayed the launch for a day, but the sea of shapes and colors made it a photographer's paradise. The traditional balloons were joined by others shaped like Sam the Funny Fant and Simba from The Lion King.
Wow, that is an absolute amazing sight.
It is, it is. You know, it'd be really cool if we did a show on a hot air balloon.
That is actually a pretty good idea. Eli, would you like to join us?
You guys might have to do that newscast without me because I'm not a big fan of heights, so
Thanks for deflating our balloon. That's all for us here at NTC News Tonight.
Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll be back the same time on Wednesday. Thanks for watching.
Goodbye, everyone.